fear. I fear no man.
Some of you going to sleep and you don't deserve rest. You lazy, you don't deserve rest. Rest is for people who work. You ain't doing nothing. Every day you chilling. You need to know your why, and my why wakes me up every single morning. There was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? Told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit, should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he like, this guy crazy. Adrian, like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come on a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around in this area. Shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He's making money, but he's crazy. He said, come on out a little further. Came out a little further. Right in his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This guy is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man didn't scratch it, holding him down. I got you. I know you brushed it out, but I got you. He had him held down. I need you for an illustration. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answered the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? See, I'm looking for a different word, brother. What's that word? He said, I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
The biggest thing that I ever found fascinating about motivation was just how much a lot of guys suffer because of it. And the reason why is because what'll happen is you get into what you call almost like your higher self, because your personality kind of shifts, and you think of all the things that you want out of life, how amazing your life could be, what it would look like if you actually went after your goals, and you completely resolve to go and do that. But then the next day, or even a couple hours later, hell, even a couple minutes later, what winds up happening is that you no longer have the drive to do so. There's no one trying to control you, but just the way that society works out, again, it's trying to be like, like the classic example that you'll hear like in Zen or stuff like that is, you finish kindergarten, you go to grade school, finish grade school, go to junior high, finish junior high, go to high school, theoretically go to college, get a job, get promoted, retire, and then the end is you die. And there is no complete. And the sheep, again, in one way of looking at it, among a million different ways you could, are the people who think there's going to be completion. And they are given a script by the wolves who then eat them. Okay, that's sort of the gist of it. The wolves are like, oh, no. Just take the little job, get a little wife, it's gonna be complete, grow nice and fat, like that, right? And they eat you. So once I've made the decision to go, I'm gonna stick to that decision. Why? Because if I fail in that decision, I will fail at my larger scale goals. This is a fascinating thing I've seen for years. Everyone I know who works a shitty job, not everyone, most people that I know who work a shitty job don't try very hard at their shitty job. This is very, very common. They don't try very hard at their shitty job. And their rationalization is, well, my boss is a piece of shit, or the customers are dicks, or this is just not my calling, so I don't have the motivation to work hard at this job. But everything is practice for the big show. Everything's preparing you for the big show. Most people think that the people that are at a very high level in society are cut from a different cloth. They think that they're literally a different breed than them, and that they can't get those things. So that's kind of interesting, right? And it's always kind of a shocker to have the myth of that person burst. Say that you were to hang out with Bill Gates for a week, and then you realize this guy's a completely regular guy. Holy shit, he's just like me. But the thing is, in some ways, it's almost worse in some ways, because learning how to cultivate that motivation to stick at some menial task day in and day out, it's actually like harder than you think, because your brain will trick you. You are your own worst enemy. But life is very confusing and it's hard to know what to do, but it's like if you're gonna walk a path, then do the things to do it right. So I've chosen the path that I've chosen. So why sit in some weird murky kind of gray zone between black and white? If I'm gonna choose to do the RSD thing, for example, then fucking do it. Don't sit there like, because I get confused, right? Because I'll be working hard and I'll say, you know, is this what I should be doing? Maybe I should be having more fun, and then I'll say take a bit too much time off and then lose momentum with a certain project, which just irritates me more anyway. Like, the truth is, what I've realized, like, or I got into a car accident. So I remember lying there dying and thinking, what did I care about? Because that was one of my most formative experiences. And what I cared about was really just, and this is like really fucking weird, I guess, but also not, I guess. I cared about like in a weird way, like the love that I put out to other people. I cared about how I treated people. You know, that was the number one thing I thought about. Like, just the people that I was leaving behind, and like what could I do to like show them that. I started actually really thinking about that. And then the other one was I thought about the work that I'd done, and was I proud of the work that I'd done and the energy that I'd put out there. Because essentially it's like you're like this little wave on the ripple of the ocean, right, that just crashes like that. So what energy did you put out there in your lifetime? And that can be a tough way to think too, because the truth is you may make bad decisions to leave a bad imprint in life.
A huge flaw that most people have when it comes to achieving success, and that is relying on motivation to get you there. In the minds of the vast majority of people who want to accomplish something, motivation is put on this pedestal as if it's the only thing that will lead to success. Here's a reality check. It's not. I'm gonna let you in right now on a secret that I found about motivation. Are you ready? Just like any other emotion, motivation is temporary. Just like happiness, sadness, excitement, it comes and goes. It's unstable, it's unpredictable. One day you're motivated, the next day you're not, and that's normal. Think about how many times you've been motivated to do something. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to stop playing video games. I'm going to finally talk to that cute girl tomorrow. You get this spurt of motivation and you feel like this is finally the time that I'm going to follow through. And maybe you actually do follow through for a day, 2 days, maybe even a week. But after that, you find yourself back at where you started and you tell yourself, damn, if only I had some more motivation. And then the cycle starts all over again. Here's a real life example that everybody's noticed. In January, the gym is completely packed because everyone there made New Year's resolutions to lose weight, and now they're motivated to do that. But 2 weeks later, what happens to the gym? It goes completely back to normal because that motivation was only temporary. Now, I'm not saying that motivation is a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. You should have something that gets you up in the morning, that gets you excited to do what you're going to do. For me, it's the memory of my parents and I living in a shitty one-bedroom scraping by month to month. I think about that almost every single day, and it motivates me to succeed. But I'm not just relying on that to get shit done day to day. You know what's great for getting you to finish what you started? Good habits. Humans are habitual creatures, and there's evidence of this everywhere. For example, in college, there are no assigned seats. You have the freedom to sit anywhere you want, but we find ourselves choosing the exact same seat day after day. Why? Because we find comfort in habits. Our brain is wired that way.
Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period. We didn't grow up with the sense that where we were was where we were going to be. We grew up with the sense that where we were almost didn't matter because we were becoming something great.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams and want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on
I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day, you'll never be able to communicate with people or with your artistry the way that you want. So the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. You might have more talent than me, you might be smarter than me, but if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's two things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple.